Yeah, for real. What's good? It's me, indeed. Unstable creature coming off the line with it. And of course, I'm going to keep it real and keep it true. Um, yeah, let's just say, like, I'm going to just pay homage to, even though things were tweaked, defense, and of course, the improvement on offense. Now, a lot of things, no, not even a lot of things. This video gonna be short, okay? Hold me to it. It's gonna be short, and of course, we had to come again and spin the dang block on the Chiefs. But the police was called in on it, okay? Before we can finish doing what we doing, the police was called in on it. I'm only saying that because I'm just gonna step in and just recognize, okay, I don't play football. It is what it is, period. But we have to, or me, I'm just going to learn and acknowledge and try to pick up so much stuff. I know when flags are thrown, it doesn't pretty much stop the play, but it can, throw off certain things. But when a whistle is blown, and y'all let me know if I'm in the wrong, don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna need this back and forth, you know, feedback or whatever, because I answer back, okay? But at the same time, I'm gonna need this answer back because if you think about it, when flags are thrown, even though the call continues, the game continues to go, you can make a play and then you offset these things. But let me know if I'm in the wrong or I did not hear or did not see some things, okay, that transpired in the game. So, what I would say is, of course, I've been wanting O'Connor to play the game. I've been wanting O'Connor to get in there. But of course, you have some tit for tats. A little stuff in the pocket has became open to kind of like, slow him down or whatever the case may be. We're not going to get stuck on that because when the game continued to go forward, he showed that he's still standing. So, what I do want to just bring in, because he originally didn't do no interceptions, and what they considered a turnover at the end of the game was kind of surprising, not just to us, but the other team as well. Now, I want to say this, even though you have flags thrown, bloop, 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 we also had, or just let me know if didn't hear it, because when you have the replay and them describing the ball falling or whatever it was to be a fumble or whatever case may be, it was almost like, okay, once he fell, got tackled, kicked the ball or whatever, the whistle was blown. And just like when I heard it, like I feel like everybody heard that whistle blown, but because somebody was able, the Chiefs was able to cover that ball and put it like it was, that turnover. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I did hear a whistle blown prior to anybody getting on the ball. I don't care if it was like a couple seconds, because in fast pace, as the game progressed and all that stuff, are people just not paying attention? But a whistle was blown. So even during those replays, that okay, he dropped the ball became loose, and all this other stuff. It was flags thrown prior to that, but a whistle was blown prior to them hovering over the ball. And if I can think about any play, okay, regardless of flags, flags being thrown and everybody get up on the ball or have an interception or a turnover, if they, you know, reveal that the whistle was blown, is dead. Everything is dead. You don't get no turnover. You don't get no interception. You don't get these things because the whistle being blown let it know that things are dead. So seeing that goes all the way back. I ain't gonna say. I am gonna say to a little bit of hating and them wanting to progress what they've been trying to do for the Chiefs and trying to look at it like that is what it is, and it's actually, keep my hands down, it's actually not, because not only was we surprised, our opponent was surprised at the outcome of that, because I'm pretty sure they heard that whistle blown too prior to getting the ball, which eventually turned into a turnover. So I'm thinking more like they wanted the Chiefs to have that. They wanted the Chiefs to have that over us when it's so much stuff that has been improved. Us constantly or in some way exposing, the Chiefs. Bills did it really good. Shout out to the Bills. But, us just doing what we do, going off of our plays and trying to get in there, most definitely we were there defensively, offensive, you know, still hoping y'all get it together. Of course, like I said, I ain't gonna say a huge fan, but when we brought him in and we have to learn a valuable lesson, we need to stop messing over on people's time, because a lot of people are here for the right reasons and a lot of people can put in that work, and we're starting to pretty much overlook. I know I ain't gonna say I know, but just hearing through the grapevines, we might have we might have a Sanders. I ain't gonna say a little. They put in work, so we might have a Sanders. Coming towards us maybe sooner than later, depending on what the circumstances is, and us probably dumbing down all of our stats so that maybe we can get a higher pick. But at the same time, I do want to bring forth, like, at the end of that game, I heard the whistle blown prior to all of that, giving the ball and seeing that we had an offset up on foul. A flag being thrown on both sides that it offsets, but then they said they turned it over to the Chiefs. That blew my mind, blew the Raider mind, most definitely blew the Chiefs mind, because if you actually pay attention to the reaction of everybody across the field, shout out to, I didn't even get his name, but 58. I know I should do my research, but the number is good. I think number's good. 58, he was totally upset, and I don't think it was just at O'Connell, because I don't know if he wasn't ready watching the field or whatever the case may be, but that too. It's almost like, no, it was what it was. We heard whistles, we seen this, we seen that, and even though the whistle be blown, it declares the ball or the play dead, they still gave it to the Chiefs. So I'm not putting it past everything that I have been saying about how they haters. And then of course the Chiefs, since being able to put in certain type of work and do what we need to do to, progress, move forward within shutting down a defense or shutting down an offense. So that's a big thing to look at all through this game. And of course we had some corrections, I would say, within the defense, because slow down. I would say within the defense, only for the simple fact that some people were a little bit open and more available when we had our men's around. So it was kind of surprising, like I said, not just for the Raiders, but for our opponent as well. And I'm going to say opponent because, no hatred. So knowing that, even when we came down to those last seconds, it still sent fear in what we are capable of doing. And that is way more important to pay attention and make sure that, you know what, let's clean this up. Let's make sure we be a little bit sharper. Let's make sure we do a little bit better. But I ain't even gonna lie, I heard a whistle. That's why I didn't even think like too much of them getting that ball because it was what it was. Same thing with our opponents. And with that being said, I'm just looking like, you know what? Even if he came in this game and he could have been shaken up, within the first and the second quarter, most definitely the third and the fourth, put in work. Okay. Surprisingly, Daniel Carson missed one, but for every other one, came back with it. I guess that would have put us on a different playing field. That would have did more for us if we have at least got that. But I'm not gonna take that from him because he also have been doing his thing. He also been putting in work. He also we have to keep in mind for the haters that also don't want us to see, you know, you do your thing. So take nothing from Daniel Carson. I take nothing from actually O'Connell. I don't know, trying to look for something that I don't know what the fuck he was looking for, but also always keep your eyes on the ball. Your mind could be like, but your mind could be, everywhere, but your eyes have to be where they need to be. So, seeing all that and seeing that little thing and then they gave it to him, it's like, that's a turnover. Knowing good and God darn well, it was a lot of correction in that. It was some improvement in that offense. So, these last two games, the the previous game, we can say like it happened, but this game, it was more like taken from us. Now we can continue to look at the NFL as if, are you playing by your own rules? Because if you keep on putting restrictions on everything or having this flag or what, but then when you that whistle, when that whistle being blown, that stuff is dead. You know what I mean? I've seen so many teams where they have caught in interceptions. They have hovered over the ball, did that for the opponent team. But yet once that whistle is blown, it's dead. It's dead, regardless of what you caught, regardless of what has happened or whatever the case may be. So I'm trying to question, and I want somebody to give me this feedback because I want to know personally the thoughts of it. And I ain't talking about no haters where they come in like, yo, you lost. You didn't get. No, like paying attention to the game, hearing that, and I'm not tripping. A whistle was blown prior to it, but I want to see if anybody else heard it because, like I said, even our opponents was shocked because the rules of the game is what it is, and like I said, even the NFL have some type of something against the Raiders. We must keep in mind and we must continue to, look out for ourselves. Don't leave it up to them. Because we're going to have to hold them accountable for the stuff that they do, the stuff that they say, because this is the NFL. And with every team, you're supposed to be unbiased, period. And that's what keeps the game fair. That's what keeps the game moving. Yes, we're not in a position to, get to the playoffs or whatever the case may be, but it is very important that we could have had one up, even within that 11 seconds, because guess what? We were still in field goal range. So, So even after that play, if it was dead and we were still in, moving on to the fourth or whatever the case may be, we could at least put something in, and we would have been one over the Chiefs. So That's a lot to keep in mind. That's why I was looking like, dang, it brings back to where, you know, the officials, that's why I say even when we spin the block, somebody call the police. Now we can't even finish what we doing. Now we shut down and now it look like they won. But no, it wasn't that. How you gonna play so dirty? And then when we come through with corrections and ready to play y'all like no other or stepping our game up. Because the Bills had y'all. But stepping our game up, it was almost like, how could you complain about it? But I guess that win by the Raiders, they felt like it couldn't and shouldn't be done. Okay? So you know what? That kind of like shook me sideways. But nevertheless, you know what? I am going to give it to Orcano for standing 10 toes, down. You can see where a couple times he was like frustrated, a little mad. Maybe his line opened up. Maybe he didn't do what he wanted to do. But given all of that, that's what I said. Should have gave the the man way more time prior to his injury, prior to any of this, and maybe we wouldn't be in this mess. That's what's way more important. We need to start holding the NFL to the mistakes or the certain stuff that they call. It shouldn't go after some of these calls that you will feel like, oh, it's official by a official rep, that it should be totally overturned. Because if you blow the whistle, that means whatever you have caught and whatever you've done after that, prior to the whistle was blown, is dead. So seeing that turnover that they wanted to say, given to that, it's almost like here we go again. And we ain't even in the playoffs. It's like y'all can't take it because y'all want to send so much of a big message. So much of a big message. And even with this entertainment thing, it has a big, wide window of so many things that can transpire or make a game very different. And that could have been a very different ending. Why? Okay, go back. I'm saying, check the history. Check the history with the Raiders and the NFL. It's not a joke. It's not nothing to sleep on. Even though we have our haters, even though you have people that don't care, but I bet if they play this type of card or play these type of games with your team, you will have a problem. Then you may or may not want to speak up on it. But I've seen this for several years, and I feel like it's not getting any better, even if, they took, gave Mark Davis this deal when they already had deals on the table that could have kept them where they were. Another surprising thing. And then I'm pretty sure within those deals, probably within a certain amount of years, you're going to have to give up a couple lucrative players. Whoever somebody wants, you had to give it up and you had to keep on catching and correcting, because that's all that we have been doing, catching and correcting like certain situations and stuff like that. Because I look at some of the receivers, and even though I mean, keep it jumping, even though, you know what I mean, shout out to the Sanders family. So if the Sanders family was, all within and ready to come, you know what I mean, it's going to cost us a little bit. We still need to have the people that you're throwing to. We still need to have that whole O-line together, that you receive it. Because guess what? Look how much money that we had to pay to Derek Carr. God bless the situation, wherever he is, how he's doing, whatever. That situation, it was almost like he was the man. He's this, he's that. We pay him all that money, and regardless if he can throw to them, it was how they receive it. It was how everything came about. It was a couple of plays to where like even that 4th and inches, why go for somebody further back when you know within inches they're gonna close in further? So if you have to take 1, 2, 3 steps back to get it to them, what you think the line is doing? They're holding, and if they get knocked down or pushed back, it's opening. So it's so many things. I think it's so many things. Yes, that they have improved in a lot of different ways, but that catching and correcting, you can improve, but catching and correcting is way more important in just improving in certain things in the line, because your matchups, y'all had to overcome that. You got Bowers. I see Bowers looking a little, it's not just one person now, or before it was a couple people, but he wasn't firm. You know what I mean? That's the thing I keep on saying, be more firm. So but he was way more firm in catching that ball and moving forward with it. So that was good to see. The hustle between everybody was good to see, and it's good to see the rotation of the ball. Yeah, you have your certain people that you want to get in there, but the team stats, as long as you hear and how you do it, is, I feel like, is way more important. Way more important. Because you here for the team, you want to move forward the best way you can. You already gonna get recognized for who you are and your stance in the game, period. So a lot to consider, a lot to think about. We need to start eliminating a lot of stuff that the NFL can use against us or try to nitpick, because that was a major thing. Dropping the ball, seeing the ball, like, if he is it really a fumble if you never had your hand on the ball? So that's why I say, like, with the flags being thrown and then the whistle blown, I mean, then again, it's a fumble. You didn't catch it. You didn't do all these other stuff. Okay, don't mind me, because I don't want you to ask me ask me out for not knowing all the rules, or just being up on that. But at the same time, y'all gonna have to hold them to what it is, okay? Period. Point blank. So I'm not going to knock the hustle. I'm not going to knock the improvement. What I am going to do is say shout out to O'Connell being out there. I know that you're out there off of, your fresh, now is a fresh start, injury and all of this stuff. So you want to put in and do the most. But you do have to accept, not even accept, because I don't even accept it. That's why I'm making this video right now. Not even accepting, but understand that it switched to entertainment. Not like that, because I am so over all the fuckery. I'm so over the games that they can play during the games when they want to. Like I said, it was surprising to not only us, but to our opponents, okay? Now, the reason why I say opponent, because it don't matter. Anybody we come up against, you are our opponent. Regardless if we have like deep rivalry with you, deep this, that, it is what it is. And even when the announcers was like, oh, I guess we can consider that a turnover, you can hear the fact that they know that it could have went another way. And you can see during the game, at the end, last 11 seconds, that it could have been way bigger and major, you know what I mean, for the Raiders. Not just because we out, but also for O'Connell bringing up the stacks and playing the game the way we did. Period. Point blank. I just can't argue with it. I just can't, I just look at it like, yeah, they know. They know. They know. And that's just what it is, period. Because, yeah, it could have went different. Those last 11 seconds could have went our way instead of their way. But because spin the block and calling the police. Broncos didn't even call the police, or y'all didn't even want to look at it like that. That's a thing with how these games have been going. So don't be too hard on your boy. Don't be too hard on my man's O'Connell, because yeah, it was. I feel like he paid attention to a lot of things. You know what I mean? Even though he wasn't able to, pick it up. Like I said, Daniel Carson missing that field goal really kind of put us back a little bit. Surprisingly, I don't want to say nobody is in your ear, but at the same time, it's almost like, well, what the heck is going on when you have these beautiful opportunities to move forward, and then you get stagnated by some of the stuff that isn't like, it's not even in Daniel Carson to miss stuff like that, because the last thing that he missed was a thing like between him and his brother, and then that was out the window. So seeing this game, he missed that, and then at the end of the game, it was like, no doubt about it, if they kick this field goal, it is what it is. They didn't even give it to him. That is a spark of fear, okay? You have to bank on this and continue to build on this, because like I said before, O'Connell was ready. Period. He didn't have to take that injury. He didn't have to wait this whole season to do that and actually put more into it, to show improvement, to show what he have. And like I said, we have had like those interceptions between Minshew damn near every game. And the ball being thrown like literally over. I do see like when he tried to go to Bowers a couple times, Bauer having a stretch, but at the same time, you do have to fight off a man. You do have to do all of these other stuff. So maybe he thought that it could have been a difference or whatever. I ain't gonna make no excuses. I looked at it. It was that one grab and it was, off the tip, but his man's was on him as well. So, and like I said, a couple things on defense where, we could have corrected that and kind of moved into, certain plays or gravitated to certain plays that wouldn't have gave them so much field goal range, or just making, giving them those couple yards. So it's like little minor corrections versus this game with O'Connor, minor corrections versus the whole goddamn season. Okay? Believe it or not, trust it or not, get back at me. I'm here, standing 10 toes, ready to trust in the process. Get it.